Yes, people, what's going on? We're back with a brand new episode of Bolts, Bars and a Bit of Bird. We're going to be talking about the unfortunate death of a prisoner inside HMP ELMLY on the Isle of Sheppey, and the prison officers' total lack of empathy, total lack of any professional standards, as they laughed, as they joked, and as one had his knee on his chest as he died. What would you do if you was in the street and you see someone trying to commit suicide, as this young man did, and you see the EMPs and you see the ambulance people laughing and joking and taking the piss out of him as he lay dying on the floor? Would you be happy? Would you complain? Would you tell them? Would you expect them to lose their jobs? Would you expect them to be maybe even arrested and charged with something? I mean, it's disgusting, really. And I'm going to bet that these prison officers don't get arrested, don't get charged. I'm going to guess that nothing happens to them, and they continue on with their jobs. Let's crack on. Prison officers were caught on body cam footage laughing and joking while restraining an inmate who later died, an inquest has been told. Asroy Doyes Clark, 28, was serving time at HMP ELMLY on the Isle of Sheppey in Kent when he suffered multiple cardiac arrests, both during and after the incident on 10th of November 2021. I've been to the Isle of Sheppey, I've been to HMP ELMLY, that's why I was on the Isle of Sheppey. I was only there for a month, and it didn't have many interactions with the screws, and lucky me, eh? The father of 4 had tied a ligature around his neck before officers intervened and began an inappropriate and disproportionate restraint, which escalated unnecessarily, the court has told. Jurors at Kent and Medway Coroner's Court in Maidstone concluded that officers had shown a deeply concerning lack of care and compassion throughout. It's a running theme with the officers in prison. They have a total lack of empathy for anyone. Staff were captured on video joking about the size of the handcuffs they needed for Dawes Clark as he writhed and screamed on the floor. All the good screws, all the good prison officers eventually leave. Animalistic language was also used, with the inmate being described by officers as being like a bucking bronco. The inquest also revealed handcuffs were wrongly applied, with jurors finding it inappropriate for paramedics to have approved the handcuffing given their lack of training to administer such advice. Yeah, how can a paramedic approve handcuffs? They're paramedics, they're not policemen. How can someone that doesn't know anything about a certain subject give advice on that subject? Be like me telling you how to fly to the moon. They added there were significant shortcomings from all present in response to Dawes Clark's medical emergency and him subsequently going limp. He went on to suffer 2 more cardiac arrests in the ambulance to the hospital, followed by a 4th and final one upon arrival. What a way to go. The inquest found that throughout the restraint, the proximity of one prison officer's knee to Dawes Clark's chest was bad practice. Bad practice? I mean, I don't even know if they're allowed to put a knee on a chest if 2 inmates are fighting to stop them. Putting a knee on a geezer's chest when he's just tried to off himself. What was the screw trying to do? Stop him breathing even more? I mean, to me, that's like attempted murder. He's just tried to hang himself, which is stopping him breathing, and now the screw is putting all his weight on the man's chest with his knee. More than bad practice, wouldn't you agree? On top of this, the leadership was lacking and control of the prisoner's head was not prioritised. Along with the initial self-ligature, this combination of factors was cited as having led to Dawes Clark's death, the medical cause of which was a lack of oxygen and or blood flow to the brain. Lack of oxygen could have had something to do with his knee on his chest. Could have had something to do with a cardiac arrest as well. Could have. After the inquest, his sister Shay in Eco said he had died in the most shocking circumstances, restrained, neglected and dehumanised, while prison staff and paramedics who were trained to save lives stood by and did nothing. I suppose he's just a prisoner though, isn't he? Assistant Coroner for Kent, Ian Brownhill, has commissioned 3 separate prevention of future deaths reports as a result of this case. They always commission a report and do a load of writing to say, oh, this is never going to happen again. What difference does it make? A HMP service spokesman said, our thoughts remain with the family and friends of Azroy Dawes Clark. Since this significant incident, we have taken action to improve staff training around use of force and will now carefully consider the inquest's findings in full. The staff know about restraining and using force. Maybe it's got something to do with the fact that most staff these days have just started the job. Most staff these days are fresh out of college and probably think that they're 10 times better than any prisoner alive. Most screws these days, they've got no life experience at all, have they? How can they have any sort of real knowledge of anything when they've just started the job? Anyway, another prisoner's death. Who cares about prisoners though? Adios.